So if we realize that they are in a tough role and our job is to take care of them, they're naturally going to take care of us, right? So it's building that trust, building that relationship. It's also opening up lines of vulnerability. I really liken the relationship between the CEO and the COO to husband and wife, right? Or partners in a relationship. I grew up in a traditional family, husband and wife, and my mom and dad would argue, but they never did it in front of the kids. My mom and dad had time away from the kids, vacations. They had time away from the kids to play golf. They had time away from the kids going for dinners. And they did a lot with the kids as well. But I remember frequently growing up, mommy and daddy having date night and weekends away and trips away. And then I also know that they battled through stuff, but they kept in front of us as this force. So I think it's important to get away with your CEO or COO. Get out of the office, go off site together, frequent lunches, frequent coffees, connecting over Zoom. If you're remote and they're in different cities, meeting up once a quarter or once every 2 months in specific cities. And even if you're just sitting in areas and doing work together, hanging out on your laptops, working beside each other, it's getting away from the rest of the kids, getting away from the rest of the leadership team. Secondly is just really brutal, honest, frank discussions. We realize that their job is f***ing tough. You know, Gary Vaynerchuk went out the other day and he said he'd love to come back in his next life as a second in command because it's easier, you know, they don't have any risk and it's not lonely. I'm like, dude, are you kidding? Like, being a COO is very lonely because you can't actually tell anybody else on the leadership team what you're doing. You feel all this pressure of wanting to tell the CEO where they're screwing up, but you feel nervous that they're going to hate you if you tell them. The CEO probably wants you to tell them they're screwing up, but not in front of everybody else. And then we want them to tell us they're screwing up, but not all at once because it pisses us off too. It's a really hard role. So if we realize that they are in a tough role and our job is to take care of them, they're naturally going to take care of us, right? So it's building that trust, building that relationship. It's also opening up lines of vulnerability where they feel safe to come to us and say, I don't know how to do this. I'm scared about this. I'm struggling with this, because we're able to do that with them as well. So I think it is just building a lot of those connections and trust and vulnerability and communication channels with them. And then recognizing that they're trying to make us look good internally. Our job is to make them look good internally.
So stay ahead of the curve as a COO. This next video is packed with great leadership lessons for you. It'll really help you as you continue in your growth.